Welcome to GRK lectures. In this Java lecture 2, we discuss structure of class, how to create object and structure of Java program. First we discuss structure of the class. So this is the syntax of class. So in this syntax, the first one class, that class word class represents, it is a keyword and used to create the class. Whenever we want to create a class in the Java program, we should start with the keyword class, and that class creates a class in the Java program, and it is going to act as a user defined data type using which object can be created for that class. And the keyword class followed by the class name. Class name means any identifier other than predefined words in the Java. All names can be used as a class name. And while writing class names, first letter of every word should be capital letter. For example, class name is demo. The demo is only one word, so that's why the first letter of that word is capital letter. So if we use more than one word as part of the class name, so then first letter of every word should be capital letter. So example, demo program means demo prog that I have taken here. So here D capital letter and P capital letter. And this way of writing class name is mandatory for the predefined classes and optional for the user defined classes. So if it is predefined class name, so we must follow this naming tradition, that is first letter of every word should be capital letter. So if it is user defined, that is optional, whether we can write that as a capital letter or we cannot write that as a capital letter. But general traditional way of writing class name is first letter of every word in the class name should be capital letter. And data members are nothing but variable declaration. So how that normally variables are declared in the C language or C++, in the same way the variables are going to be declared. So example, int a, float b, or character. If you want to declare the character variable using char data type, char, and a variable can be created. And member methods represents a method definition. So this method is nothing but, as far as the syntax is concerned, it is almost similar to the functions that are in the C language. But as far as object oriented programming languages are concerned, we call a block of code as a method, and whatever the logic we want to write in the class, that must be written as part of the method. So while writing method name, again we follow one naming, traditional naming. So that is the first letter from the second word of the method should be capital letter. For example, if you use only one word as part of the method name, all should be small letters. For example, void and add I have taken here. Add is only one word, that should be, that's why, so all should be small letters. And if you use more than one word as a method name, so then each word of first letter of each word from the second word should be capital letter. So here I have taken that method name, second method name, add integer. So then adds all small letters, and integer, in integer the first letter is a capital letter. So like this, so each letter of every word from the second word of method should be capital letter. So now coming to types of variables and methods. So while writing the Java program without class, there is no Java program. We can't write any program. And first class should be created, and within the class we define method, and in the method we declare variables, and using variables we can perform any operation. So variables we call it as a data members, and methods we call it as a member methods of class. Assume that here one class is created, the class name is C1. In that F1 method, and in the F1 method, one variable, a variable is declared of type integer. So as far as members of Java is concerned, there are two types of members: instance members and static members. So if the variable is instance member, so all instance members are accessed using object name. So without object we cannot access the members of that class if the member is a instance member. So assume that here I am creating one object to the class C1. That object name is O1. So how to create object we discuss in the next slide. Assume that object of C1 is O1. So your object name, class names or identifiers, we can use any name as a class name and object name other than predefined words. So when the O1 is created, so then a separate memory location created for the members of the class. So here A is a variable that is member of the class. For that A, memory allocated, and let us assume that some 10 is assumed. 10 is assigned. So that variable is accessed by using object name. Object name is O1. That's why O1 dot A and 10 is assigned. So using object name we are accessing that variable. So when O2 object is created to the same class, then again separate memory location created for the A variable. So like this we can create any number of objects for the class, and every time when the object is created for the class, a separate memory location allocated for the members of the class. So no memory location is shared by any other object. Means O1 object memory cannot be shared by the O2. So similarly if you want to create O3, so that will not share the memory of the O2 or O1. Means no memory single location shared by the multiple objects. So that's why these instance members are not shareable. And since these members are accessed using object name, so we can also call these as object level members. Now coming to static members, so if the member is static, so then memory will be allocated to the static members only once when the program is loaded onto the memory, and these members are called by using a class name. So we can create any number of objects to the class, but irrespective of number of objects created, so static members allocated memory only once, and that can be called by using the class name. So for any number of times we can access, but for every access we have to share that single memory location among multiple accesses. So that's why these static members we call it as shareable. And since these variables means members or static members are accessed by using class name, we call it as a class level members. So these are the examples how to create instance and static member. So to create instance member, no keyword is used, no special keyword, just like how the normal variables are declared, in the same way we can declare. But coming to the static, we have to use the keyword static. So static int a. When we use static keyword, that will be considered as a static member. So if not static keyword used, by default it is considered as an instance member. So now how to create object. So object is an instance of the class. So while writing program, first we have to create the class, and to call the members of the class we must create object. So without object we can't perform any operation on the members of the class. So this is the syntax. So class name followed by object name and assignment operator and new keyword and class name followed by parenthesis semicolon. So this is the syntax how to create an object. So assume that this is the class. The class name is furniture, which contains two variables a and b. So if we want to access a and b, we must create an object to the furniture class. That's why furniture class name followed by the table. So table is object name and furniture is a class. For furniture class we are creating one object. So when you write the statement like this, we call it as a object creation or object declaration. So when the object is declared, so the table contains null. Null means this table will not point to members of the furniture class. So that's why we cannot access members A and B by using table object. So if you want to access, so table equals to new furniture. In this way we have to write again. So this we call it as a object instantiation. When the object is instantiated, then only we can access members of the class. So now the table object is created, and to this table the members of addresses of members of furniture class will be assigned. So then table points to members of the furniture class. So then we can access those members using table name. So the in this way, in two ways we can write create that object by breaking that statement, the above syntax, into two parts. So otherwise directly in the single statement also you can create the object like this. So once object is instantiated, so then we can access by using object name, that is table.a and table.b. So this accessing members of the class is possible by using only object instantiation, so which is possible by using the new operator. So this new is a dynamic memory allocation operator. It performs two operations. One is allocate memory, sufficient memory to the class members, and assign that to object. So then object point to the members of the class. Now coming to the structure of Java program. So this is the structure of the Java program. While writing Java program, first you can create any number of classes in the Java program, but out of which only one class should contain main method. That represents where the program execution should be started. So as I already told you, to write the program, first we have to create a class, that is class name. So class, while writing after writing that program, that program should be saved with a file name. So that file name should be similar to the name of the class which contains main method, followed by .java extension. So if the main method is written in a class, that class name is demo, then file name should be demo.java. So your class is a keyword that is used to create the class, and class name is any user defined name. We can use that name as a class name. And coming to the main method, so public static void main. So public means this is one of the access specifiers, means this keyword represent where this main method can be accessed. So these access controls are going to control where the members can be accessed in the program. So once it is public, that can be accessed from everywhere. Since main method that must be called from everywhere, That's why that access control or access specifier should be public. And assume that this class name is demo, so then file name is going to be the demo.java. So when the demo.java, that file name is called, automatically this demo class will be loaded onto the memory. So this is the class with the name demo. So assume that that static keyword is not used to create this method. If the static keyword is not used, by default it is considered as a instance. So if it is instance, instance member should be called by using object name. But there is no object created in this class. So that's why we cannot call that. So then that object of this class should be created in the another class. And moreover, as far as this uh, class is concerned, here we have only class name, but there is no object name. That's why we cannot call it this by using the object name. As of now we have only class name. So that's why this method, main method, is going to be called by using the class name demo. Since it is called by using class name, that must be static, that should not be instance. So even if you want to call that method by making it as instance, if we want to call that, so then we need an object. That object must be created in another class. Assume that this demo1 class, where the demo class object has been created, and using this object we can call the main method as object name dot main. So in order to call that, first demo1 class should be executed, from where we can get the object name, and by using that object the main method is going to be called. If you follow this approach, then the class demo1 should be executed, after that demo should be executed. But in the Java, there are no such classes which are going to be executed before the class which contains the main method. So it is not possible to execute the class before the main method class. That's why this the main method should be static. And from the main method we never return any value to any other method. That's why that should be void. And coming to the main, I already told you that main represents where the program execution should be started. So now it is clear why this public static void main should be written. So now coming to the string arg means arguments that is of array type. So here string, in the string I have written S as a capital letter, first letter. That means the string is a class which is a predefined class, and using that class arg object we are creating that object of type array type, because everything, any input we are giving to the Java program, that will be considered as a string object. So that's why string object should be passed as a parameter to the main function, I mean main method. So now we discuss the basic output method. So just like the printf function in the C language, so here we use a basic method to print output on the console. So let us take this is a print stream class, which is a predefined class which contains two methods, print and println. So these two methods are used to print output on the console, and these two methods type is instance, because here we have not used any static keyword. So in order to call these methods, we need object of the print stream class, and the object of the print stream class is created as a static member in the system class, and that member name, that object name, is out. So now in order to call the print or println, we need out, so which is created as a static member in the system class. So that's why these two methods should be called by using the object name, that is out. But out is a static member of the system, so that's why we need system name, because by using the class name only the static members can be called. So in order to call the printer, so first we have to start our calling from system, that is system dot out dot print or println. So in two ways you can call that. So if you call print method, output will be printed and cursor will stay on the same line. If you call println, output will be printed and cursor goes to the next line. So this println is nothing but a print plus a slash n. The meaning of that println is that one. So in order to print output on the console, so using two methods we can print that system.out.print or system.out.println. So this is an example, system.out.println, and between double quotes I mentioned welcome. So welcome message word is going to be printed on the console, and if you want to print the value of any variable, so system.out.println, and the string, whatever the string you want to display, that you can write within double quotes followed by plus, and which variable value you want to print, so that variable must be mentioned. So here I want to print that a variable value. So here plus means that is the concatenation operator. So now basic Java program. So this is one simple demo Java program where I am printing a message Java program. So class demo, public static void means string, arg means arguments. So arg means it is not an predefined word. You can write any name, that is just like a variable. You can write any name there that represents object of the string class. So in that method system.out.println, and simply I am printing Java program, a message I am printing on the console. So this program, so you can use any editor. So generally in the notepad plus plus also, or notepad, you can write the program and save the program with the file name as a demo.java, because your class name is demo, the same name should be used as a file name. So then file name is going to be demo.java. So you save that file with the demo.java. So after that compilation, and this should be compiled from the command prompt. Open the command prompt, you search in your search bar, so search type cmd, then command prompt will be opened. So at that command prompt you type java c for compilation followed by file name demo.java. So if the compilation is successful, so then again you get the command prompt, and internally bytecode will be generated. So that bytecode, anyhow we discuss this what is bytecode later. So that bytecode file name is going to be same file name demo, but extension is dot class. So our source program is dot java, and this bytecode file is with dot extension. So if there are no errors, this file is created in the same directory, and we get again command prompt. So that means compilation is successful. So then you run the program like this, java and only demo, class name, no extension. So then you get the output. So thank you for watching my lecture.